when I reviewed The Shunning, I said two things in particular. One was that I didn't know how they were going to continue this story for two more films, and the other was that I had a rough idea of where the second film was going. I have now seen The Confession, the second film. This is not where I thought it was going at all. There will be some spoilers in a moment, but before that I will keep this spoiler free. But I really thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm not going to say I have an idea where the third film is going because it's not worth taking that risk again. This was released in 2013. It's directed by Michael Landon Jr. And this actually stars Katie Leclerc as Katie. Danielle Panabaker does not reprise her role in this one. And the performance, absolutely fine. And the narrative is amazing. So there will be spoilers just now for the previous film, but I won't spoil this one until a little bit. So this one picks up kind of where the previous film left off. And Katie has gone in search of her birth mother. And she manages to find her. She manages to track her down. But things don't go according to plan. And I never would have predicted that it would have went in this direction. Never in a million years. And I love that. Because when it happened, I was so confused. And then it took me it took me about 5 minutes maybe to work out what on earth was going on. And I was very amazed and very impressed, and I really liked how it unfolded. Almost. There's one bit that I'm not a big fan of that I don't think worked as well as it could have done, but I'll talk about that in a moment. But I will just say, before I go into some spoiler details, it's a brilliant narrative. It did not go anywhere near the direction I was expecting. The performances are really enjoyable, and there are definitely some emotional moments in this film as well. So there will be spoilers from now, as I mentioned a couple of things. So big spoilers from now. And I got a little bit confused, which I think was kind of the point, when we see Katie meeting her mother, but then we see Katie downstairs arriving at this event, and then her mother introduces Katie, and the fake Katie walks out, and I genuinely didn't know what was going on. And it did take me about 5 minutes to realise that it was the actress from the restaurant or the coffee shop or wherever it was. And once the penny dropped, I realised exactly what was going on. But it took me, I don't know if that's how long it took everybody or if I was really slow, but I kind of like the fact that I didn't immediately work out what was going on, because I had that moment of confusion where I was desperate for answers and I had no answers. And then I was, of course, very curious to find out if her mother would ever find out the truth and ultimately what would happen there. So the other thing that I didn't like, or the one thing that I didn't love, is Daniel's role in this. Having Daniel returning and not being dead, again, really unexpected. And I didn't mind that aspect of it. I thought, fair enough, this could work. I'm quite interested to see what happens with his character. But when he met the fake Katie and realised, it was clear he knew, well, obviously he knew this wasn't Katie, I don't believe that he wouldn't have said something. Because for all he knows, the real Katie is in danger. Why is there an imposter in her place? That to me is suspicious. For all we know, the real Katie could have been murdered and she was in her place. Maybe that's just the way my mind works. But if I was going after my one true love and there was an imposter in that person's place, I absolutely would tell somebody. And I just don't believe he had a very genuine response to the situation at all. So while I was fascinated to see the character being alive and potentially being involved in Katie's story, I don't believe what he did, because if you love somebody as much as he loves Katie, which I genuinely believe he does, you wouldn't just look at an imposter and just shrug your shoulders and walk away. So that bit was very, very, very badly written, or the character was very badly written. But we'll see what happens going forward. Honestly, what they should have done is, because I had actually thought that he would be the downfall of the fake Katie. I thought that's how they'd find out, but clearly not. But what they should have done is not include him in this until the last moment when Katie sees him and she tells herself it can't have been him because she thinks he's dead. And then in the next film, backtrack and show him arriving at her parents' house and then going to New York to find her. That would have been more suspenseful, and then we would have avoided the whole character being a terrible person by not saying that there's a fake Katie. So that would have been significantly better, would have made a lot more sense. But if I can overlook that and the problems with that character, then I'd say it's a very, very good film. The Confession is not at all what I expected, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to watch the next one. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm really looking forward to it.